So, you live in Golden and you've got a dog, right? You know the deal. One day you're hiking in the foothills, the next you're walking along Clear Creek, or maybe just kicking back on a patio downtown. The dream is to have your dog right there with you for all of it, just being a total champ. And that's where good training comes in. It's what makes that life possible.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover in this guide. We'll start with how to find a qualified pro, then look at the different kinds of programs out there. We'll get into what it costs here in Golden, and I'll give you the exact questions you need to ask. After that, we'll touch on the local dog laws and wrap up with some awesome spots around town to practice. Okay, let's get into it. First up, starting your search. And listen, finding a trainer is about so much more than just teaching commands like sit or stay. You're really looking for a partner, someone who can help you and your dog build an amazing, trusting relationship.
So, the cornerstone of pretty much all modern, effective training today is something called positive reinforcement. It's a simple idea, really. You reward the behavior you want to see more of. Think treats, praise, a favorite toy. This approach isn't just kinder. It builds a confident dog that wants to learn and work with you. And for that active Golden lifestyle, that's exactly what you want.
Now, here's something you should know. In Colorado, anyone can technically call themselves a dog trainer. There's no state license required. That's why checking for certifications like these is a really big deal. They're proof that a trainer has put in the work, studied, and is dedicated to using professional, science-backed methods. And if you're dealing with tougher stuff like serious anxiety, a specialized certification like the CBCCKA is a very good sign.
Okay, so you know what to look for in a trainer, but what about the training itself? Let's talk about the different program formats, because what you choose really depends on your goals. Are you trying to socialize a brand new puppy? Are you trying to fix a specific issue that's been driving you crazy at home? All right, let's break down the most common options you'll see. You've got your group classes, which are just fantastic for general manners and getting your dog used to being around other dogs politely. Then there are private sessions. These are perfect for those problems that only seem to happen at home, right? Like going nuts when the doorbell rings. Day training is a great option for busy owners who want to see faster progress. And finally, board and train programs are really intensive, immersive options for more complex behaviors.
Okay, let's talk about money. It's a practical and, frankly, an essential part of the decision. So what should you budget for dog training right here in Golden?
Now, obviously, prices are going to shift depending on the trainer's experience and what exactly you need. But getting a ballpark idea of the costs can really help you plan things out.
So if we look at the typical costs for 2026, a standard 6-week group class is probably going to be in that $180 to $350 range. A single 1-hour private lesson, you're looking at about $100 to $180. Packages, of course, usually save you a bit of money, and then you have the board and train options. Yeah, those are a much bigger investment, but that's because it's a 24/7 immersive program.
All right, so you've found a few trainers you like, you have a budget, now what? It's time to talk to them. Think of this next part as your personal consultation checklist to help you feel confident you're making the right choice.
You'll want to ask every single one of these questions. You're listening for their training philosophy. You want to hear things like positive reinforcement. Ask about their credentials. A really big one is how they're going to tailor the training specifically for your dog and your goals. And don't forget to ask about homework. What you do between lessons is honestly where the magic happens and the training really sinks in.
Next up, let's talk about the local rules here in Golden. Because great training isn't just about having a well-behaved dog at home, it's about being a good neighbor and a responsible member of the community. Okay, remember this number, 10 feet. This is a big one in Golden. The city's rules are super clear. If you're in a public park or on a trail, your dog's leash can't be longer than 10 feet. This is exactly why getting that loose leash walking down is so important.
And there are a few other local ordinances to be aware of. The rabies vaccination, well, that's a state law. You'll also need a Jefferson County license for your dog, and the city has a rule against excessive barking. That's another place a great trainer can really help, by getting to the root of why your dog is barking in the first place.
All right, let's get to the best part, putting all this hard work into practice. Once you've got those skills down, it's time to get out there and enjoy everything Golden has to offer with your dog. We're so lucky to have some amazing places to practice around here. For example, Vanover Park, it's the only official off-leash dog park in the city, which makes it the perfect, safe spot to really nail that recall. The Clear Creek Trail, it's basically the ultimate real-world challenge for loose leash walking, with all the bikes and people. And if you head up to White Ranch Park, those trails are fantastic for working on focus when there are tons of interesting smells around.
When it comes down to it, finding that right trainer and putting in the practice, it just opens up your life here in Golden.
A well-trained dog isn't just about obedience, it's about having a real partner for all your adventures. They're the companion you can take anywhere, whether it's a hike, a patio, or just hanging out at home. We wish you the absolute best on your training journey.